Hello and welcome back to Gamedec. So, we are still investigating what's happened to Fredo. He's currently a little bit out of it, but I have noticed when we walked into this room, we've got this person right here. Now, we were told by Timmy that Fredo and him met with a stripper beforehand, and I have to assume that this is her. So, let's see what's going on. There was a rather provocatively dressed 20-something-year-old woman on the couch. Warnings flashed from the device's panel. Let's check the panel. She'd exceeded the safety limits for logged-in time, similar to Fredo. Over 4 days without a suit, she must have taken a game pill or her bladder wouldn't have held out. She started revitalization, but something interrupted the process. Even though she couldn't control her body, I thought she could hear me. Her helmet had an external monitoring port. I could connect it and see what happened. Let's first of all take a closer look at her. She must have been planning a short session since she didn't put on a suit. She looks like one of the women I had seen on the computer screen in the hall. Is that your assistant? Oh, his assistant maybe? Okay. Which doesn't quite line up with what we were thinking. She's just a random lowlife. Leave her alone and get back to my son. Haggis' face swelled up with anger. Okay, interesting. So we know that she's probably not just a random lowlife because of Timmy's story. Let's explain. She may have some crucial information. Alright, just hurry up. Hey, okay, so if we tell him why we need to know something, then he's happy to go with it. Let's make contact. Hey lady, can you hear me? She didn't answer and she didn't move. Either she wouldn't talk or couldn't. I was betting on the latter. Is the same thing happening to Fredo? I don't know yet. Let's connect to the helmet. Haggis noticed what I was doing. The observer's port. He nodded. I see you're prepared. So this is from relations. Interesting. So maybe because we have an okay relationship with Haggis, he's like, alright, I trust you to do what you need to do. Is that what's happening here? Cool. When I connected to her helmet, the image was transmitted to my lenses. Oh? Oh, this is very cool. The girl drifted in an undefined space. It wasn't the network menu or any of the games I knew. Hello, I'm a Gamedec. I was hired by Mr. Haggis. I connected to your helmet. You can talk, and I'll hear you on my walktel. According to the login, your name is Starlet. Is that right? Oh, so it is the stripper who came to Timmy and Fredo's thing. She moaned like she was in pain. Gamedec, that's great. Yeah, I'm Starlet, and I can't seem to log out. Let's question her first. Want to ask you a few questions. If it helps you get me out of here. What happened? What happened? How did you get here? I don't know. I don't even know where here is. I was in the game with the guys when someone attacked me. Who attacked you? In what game? Was Fredo Haggis there? I'm confused and exhausted. I can't... Someone definitely attacked me. I blacked out. Ooh, okay. So what have we learned here? A game with PvP mechanics. Okay, so we still think it's twisted and perverted, but that's okay. It's just a little extra. So in theory, we could just skip it and move on, but I want to find out what the last bit of data is. And then codex. What have we learned? PvP games. PvP, i.e. acronyms. You know, I wonder if there's still a point in using all these acronyms. You don't like acronyms? LOL. No, different ones like PvP, PvE, and so on. Why not? Because almost all games are PvP and PvE now. Almost makes a big difference. So what's the point? Take Pony's World. I don't play pink games. Come on, can you hurt another player? My daughter played it and says that you can't. Even when she rode around on her pony for 5 hours, it was still happy. But that wasn't a player. No, it wasn't a player. Can you attack a player in Crying Guns? Well, that's what the game is about. You see, Crying Guns is PvP, player versus player, and Pony's World is PvE, player versus environment. Are you trying to say my daughter is abusing ponies? LFE then. Meaning? Love for environment. Game jokes. Okay. Guess it could be classified as a joke. Anyway. Let's ask about the alcohol I found. I found signs of someone drinking alcohol here. Do you know anything about it? I was drinking some expensive sparkling wine before it came online. Is that why I'm stuck here? I doubt it. I'm just trying to follow every lead. Maybe I can tell you more if you get me out of this emptiness. Let's ask about Idris. I'm not sure. Do we know who Idris is? I may have forgotten. Okay, I'm not sure. Let's ask about Idris. Do you know Idris? I saw your picture on her computer. Oh, right. I saw her picture on the assistant's computer. Okay. Still, for the questions, help me and you'll get your answers. Let's look around. The digital space was filled with datasets that my walktail rendered as luminous shapes. Let's offer assistance. Let me try to help you. Alright. A progress bar appeared in your quest log. It is influenced by your decisions and dialogue choices. Remember that maxing it out can prompt a negative or a positive outcome depending on the situation. So that's a weight off my shoulders. So revitalizing her, we need to get the progress bar to full. Got it. We're not going to unfasten the helmet because we were told that you shouldn't do that in the codex if you haven't properly disconnected. Let's analyze the problem. Interrupted revitalization is rare and usually due to faulty equipment, but that wasn't the case. It must have been something external. Revitalization is based on hardware stimulation of the player's senses. Each stage appears on the progress bar. Sadly, I couldn't recall the correct order. What have we learned about? Revitalization, I'm guessing? Yeah, okay. Cal Galahad on revitalization. Truth be told, I'm surprised that so many players fail to understand what revitalization really is. It's like, it's something like reconnecting a human to their human being, right? Cal, listen. Can you imagine the damage caused to your home by someone inside a world where he's playing a martial artist? Exploding fists? For example, yes, so you have a devitalized person playing exploding fists. Suddenly, he's uncontrollably revitalized, but only partially. His senses keep telling him he's inside the game, so he hears and feels the environment of the game's world, but his motor functions are activated in Relium. So he starts kicking, running around, punching furniture, punching the floor, breaking anything and everything. And he doesn't feel any injuries because his sense of touch is still switched to the game world. He can't stand either because the labyrinth in his inner ear still responds to the stimuli of the game. So when he falls out of the couch, he just rolls around on the floor, flails his arms and legs, knocking down dishes, tables, chairs. That's crazy. That's why the revitalization process, the opposite of devitalization, is not a simple reconnecting a human to their human being, but a complicated process under close control of the helmet. The procedure cannot be disturbed or manipulated. The order in which the senses are awakened is very important, especially that the motor senses must be activated last. Together with vision? Yes. So, how exactly did it happen? Cal, are you sure you'll get it? Yeah, I'll get it. Well, the bridge, the part of the brain, plays a vital role here. Do you know where it is? Well, it's inside your brain, and it's responsible for turning everything on and off. So here's how it goes. First, it activates the hearing. Okay, so we actually needed to read this to know what we're doing. Yeah, I know that you start to hear the sounds of your surroundings. Then comes the movement sense. Proprioception. It's the so-called sixth sense, you know, when you're aware where your arms and legs are. Right, and all those things, and yes, Cal, I imagine what else you're aware of when you wake up. Let's keep going. In your ear, you have your equilibrium center, the labyrinth. So after the proprioception, the sense of balance is activated. Exactly. Then, because your mouth is quite close to your ear, if you think of it, it comes taste and smell. I'm starting to feel like I'm sweating. Yes, Cal, we all know you can sweat. Anyway, after all that, we finally activate your locomotor system and your arms and legs, and then you can take off your helmet and you start to see. Got it? Okay, so I was trying to remember the points that we needed to do here. So, hearing, followed by movement sense, followed by the labyrinth, followed by the mouth, taste and smell, and then and then it's everything else. Got it. Vision is definitely restored last when the helmet is removed. Had I rushed it, Starlet would have been in serious trouble. I don't know what happened there when I clicked continue, but that's weird. Okay, Starlet, I think I know how to wake you. Wait, I hear laughter. What's happening? My deck detected the girl's helmet being bombarded with exabytes of data. Someone wanted to overload it and terminate our connection. Starlet, someone is trying to stop us from talking or probe me. Damn it, what are you going to do? The attack was intensifying, I didn't have much time. Firewall. I'll activate some barriers to block the signal, but it's only a matter of time before they crack. It was possible to use jamming barriers to slow the attack, or some decent but weaker reflection barriers to track the source. I'll use jamming barriers. The jamming barriers sent requests and inquiries to the source of the attack, slowing down whoever it was. Starlet, I put up some barriers. I bought us some time. Great. It's about time we got out of here. Okay, so... do I want to observe the signal or revitalize her? I think we just want to revitalize her. We don't have much time, and we're going to try and get you out of here. Finally. Stimulating your senses. The correct order was key. The revitalization bar had stopped on stimulating proprioception. It seemed right to start with that. Starlet, I'm going to finish your revitalization. I'm going to need to touch your body. Is that okay? Do whatever is necessary. Alright, so back to here. Back to technologies. Let's read our instructions. So we were at proprioception somewhere. Let's see. So then comes the movement sense, the proprioception, so-called sixth sense, when you're aware where your arms and legs are. Right. So, shake her or move her arm. Move her arm? I felt around for Starlet's arm in Relium, raised it and moved it around. The revitalization bar moved forward. Proprioception complete. A good start, but the screen didn't display the next stage. Okay, so the next stage after proprioception or proprioception is blah 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 blah. There we go. Right. Labyrinth, inner ear. Sense of balance. That's it. Decided to stimulate her inner ear, her sense of balance. Let's raise her head. Gently raise the girl's head. Okay, something's happening. I feel dizzy. That means your inner ear has been stimulated. I can stimulate another sense. Okay, so next is touch and smell, right? Was there a specific order? I think those were just the same time, right? So... then comes taste and smell. Let's just do taste first, because it came first. Oh, not touch. Sorry. Smell. It was time for the sense of smell. I knew it was connected with taste. I hesitated. Mint gum? I dug into my pocket for a pack of mint gum, took out a piece and carefully slid it under Starlet's helmet. Hey, I smelled something strange. Now I have a weird taste in my mouth. That means we're on the right track. Okay. So now we've done that. Now we do touch. I think. Right. Yes, okay. So now we do touch. I squeezed her hand. I can feel your hand, finally. Now comes vision. Now we take the helmet off. I'm about to take your helmet off. It should stimulate your vision and motor functions. I gently slid the helmet off her head. Finally, thank you. Those words didn't come through the walktail, but directly from her lips. I was just about to terminate the connection when I saw a message. Gamedec. Whoever brought you into the game doesn't understand its rules. Go home and go to sleep. It's for your own good. Don't get involved. The attack ended and I got disconnected. Well, Gamedec, you actually impressed me. Can you wake up my son now? I'll do what I can, Mr. Haggis. Alright, let's talk to Starlet. How are you feeling? I was without a suit for too long. Hey, an achievement for doing this. Fantastic. But I'm still a bit shaky. But my back is cooling and my stomach is warming up. You pulled me back from that void. Thank you. The girl glanced at Haggis. You probably want to ask me some questions before I leave. Yes. Let's ask about the liquor. I found signs of someone drinking alcohol here. Do you know anything about it? We drank that expensive sparkling wine before going online. The boys were celebrating a birthday. That's all. Let's ask about Idris. Do you know Idris? I saw your picture on her computer. The girl looked at Haggis again and then into my eyes, then nodded slightly. Out loud she told me she had no idea who I was talking about. Oh, okay. Interesting. Let's ask about Fredo's condition. Fredo can't seem to log out of the game. Do you know why? No, the boys were fine. Then I blacked out. I guess someone hacked me. Where were you logged into? We already know the answer, but I'm confirming. you remember which worlds you and the boys entered? I took them to Twisted and Perverted. If only I had known how it would turn out. Alright, you can go now. That's all, thank you. You should get some rest. I've overstayed my welcome. Drop by Yeti's coming in Low City sometime and I'll buy you a drink. Oh, Mr. Haggis? The man looked at Starlet with disgust. What do you want? Who do I bill for the escort service, you or the company? He wanted to say something but stood there holding his breath with his mouth tightly shut. Oh, I see. So he hired her for his son. Interesting. So now we know about Starlet. And Yeti's Coming. They call me Old Jet. I run the Yeti's Coming bar at the very bottom of Warsaw City. The view of the Undercity here is truly amazing. Come and visit if you like the Low City vibe. If not, beat it. But know this, you won't find dancers like Trixie or Starlet anywhere but here. There's no point describing what they look like or what they can do. This, brothers and sisters, you really need to see for yourself. Guess I'll see you at Yeti's Coming. Cool. Okay, so we've got another potential person who we can maybe use in a later investigation, I assume. Alright, before we speak to Haggis, I want to have a look at... Well, before we speak to Jeffrey, I want to have a look at this again, because we didn't get a full chance. Let's examine Fredo. There's nothing else. Look at the helmet. I leaned over to get a better look. Helmet number. Get up the number, I had to lift up the boy's head. Raise the head. I gently grabbed his head and tried to turn it a little. Fredo moaned. Careful, you're hurting him. Let's explain. I know what I'm doing, he'll be fine. Do you think I'm blind? You're hurting him. Leave him the fuck alone or I'll throw you out myself. Alright? You're the boss, it was best to leave him alone. Check the screen. The visor screen had no info on Fredo's virtual location. An intentional safeguard. Also, I get the feeling that I have a lot of information at this point in the game because we got an achievement for a lot of information. Virtulia. Cal, I have a stupid question. Shoot. Virtulia, what do you think about them? Are you kidding me? I've been into gaming forever. I've done millions of interviews, covered hundreds of thousands of digital miles, and you're asking me what I think about Virtulia? You know why? Because I don't think you've ever asked yourself. I never have because it's stupid. Why? It's like you asked me what I think about Relium. Relium exists. We try to model it, but we also try to adapt it so we won't make the same mistakes we did 100 years ago. But we created Virtulia ourselves. Hundreds of thousands of games, so many that I'll never get a chance to visit them all, millions of ideas, millions of players travelling through uncharted land. You know what? It wasn't a stupid question. I told you it wasn't. Virtulia is like a universe. The universe holds an enormous number of planets, but even if you lived 1,000,000 years, you would never get the chance to visit them all, just like Virtulia. It's kind of scary. And one more thing. Yeah? Two, actually. First, who controls it all? No one person could ever manage, and I don't trust AI. We have transcended IT singularity. We don't control what we've created. And the second thing? The AIs. They are actually controlling and developing games right now. The programmers are only kind of keeping an eye on them. And how can we keep an eye on something that controls something we can't control anymore? Okay, interesting. Right, back to this. The helmet didn't have an observer port either. There was no way to see what he was playing, full discretion. Okay, so unlike her one. Right, check the couch. The royal mat, discretion and comfort. Couch reeked of luxury and unattainability. The system masked the player's login information. Panel. A small screen displayed Fredo's vital signs. Pulse, muscle tension, and brain activity. Despite the high-end hardware, the kid was sweating and using a lot more Nutrifluid than he should have been. His body was exhausted. Can I examine him again? No. Okay, leave. So we didn't really learn a lot new there. Right, the last thing we need to do is speak to Jeffrey Haggis and confront him about what we've learned. But before we do that, I just want to look around the room and see if there's anything else in here. Oh, what about this one? This was Timmy's one, right? Ah, so we can go into those because of our deduction. Let's search. The casing was slightly loose. Remove the cover. The panel was fixed in place with an S22A plasteel screws. Fortunately, I was a professional. What have we learned about? Ah, game decks. How should you dress in games? What's the right attire for a game deck in sensory worlds? There are two styles, using an in-game skin which makes you blend in with the crowd. You won't raise any eyebrows and you can pretend to be anyone or no one. However, you may hit some roadblocks on the job because anyone can say they're a game deck and come by a fake license. So if you say I'm a game deck, people might not believe it and ignore you. using the official skin included with the Gamedec license. Usually the game will impose certain modifications. It will add a marker or some spurs, but you'll bear a general resemblance to your realistic skin. The advantage of this approach is that everyone immediately knows who you are and that you're conducting an investigation, unless you're in a world designed to mimic Realium. It adds to your authority. The problem here is that you won't be blending in with your surroundings. Everyone will know you as the outsider, meaning either a Gamedec or an oddball who likes to break the rules of immersion. Most Gamedecs go for the second option. It's the safer choice. I use the first one only when concealing my presence in a game, as a priority. Oh, interesting that we might have that choice. I pulled out the Series 3 Demo Tracks multi-tool that I always kept with me, and the protective cover came off in no time. There was a bottle inside the couch. Look at it. The sleek bottle shape alone suggested an indecent price. It shimmered with a pale blue light. I removed it from among the wires. Blue Mistress was written on the faux-aged paper label. No trace of the liquid, but sticky glass reeked of berries and chewing gum. More about Realium? Blue Mistress. Sparkling wine best served chilled. A synthetic wine with a bouquet containing strong hints of berries, chewing gum, and oak barrel, the composition of which was based on Blue Mistress. Whether there's more information? Interesting. Anyway. It was the same liquid I had found that had made the stain in the other room. Okay, we already knew that. Back here? Search? Alright, so that's it. That was the only thing we could find there. Hello, Jeffrey. He looked at me with disgust, as if to let me know that I was wasting his time. Let's ask about access to the couches. Who has access to the room with the couches? My guests and I, but no one except Fredo uses them when I'm away. He looked at the couch the woman was using. At least that's what I thought. Oh, so he didn't know about the woman, so Fredo might have done it behind his back. I had nothing to say to him. Okay. Well, let's jump into the couch then. I guess we found absolutely everything we can, right? Now, do I want to go... I could, I suppose, take that as a deduction choice. Oh, maybe making the choice in game also counts as a deduction. Let's do it. There's a bit of information we missed somewhere, but it must have been an interrogation we missed. That's my only thought. Wait, is there anything else on this couch? No, I must have missed an interrogations thing somewhere. Oh, are you back? No. Okay. Back here, twisted and perverted. Ah, you see, we have to make a choice before it will let us progress. Got it. So this is obviously the correct answer. We missed a bit of info, but it doesn't matter. It's the correct answer. Oh, I see. And this is showing us the two paths we could take. Well, we had three paths. We could cancel a job, at which point How to Help Fredo no longer continues. We could take this path to look for him in Twisted and Perverted, or we could have gone to Paradise Beach and taken this path. Interesting. I like it. I like the way it's showing it. So now we don't know where the next ones lead. So this is no data, but I assume it's going to be something like Find Fredo, but we don't know where that is. And then that is going to lead to another bit, which will then lead to two choices at the end. Okay. Interesting. Ah, and this is locked off from us now because I've made a deduction. Oh, we can now inform Haggis of our decision. Hello. He repeatedly clenched and unclenched his fist as if trying to control his emotions. Mr. Haggis, I've come to a decision about Fredo. About fucking time. Fredo might be inside the adults-only world, Twisted and Perverted. You know, the one combining sex and violence. I should look for him there. Haggis sighed. That was what I was afraid of. Do your thing. The access fee for that Virtulium will be taken care of. All expenses are on me. Okay. So, I was just checking. Do we have like a... What's our quest? No. Interesting. So it did pop up new quest. I'm trying to figure out how we would see that. Oh, I guess it's just in the quest log. Yeah, okay. Never mind. It must have just popped up and then been like, you completed it, and then moved away. That's fine. Couch. There we go. Enter. Something bad had happened in TMP. Fredo must be in there, so I needed to go in. Okay, our first virtual world. Let's see how it goes. Put on the helmet. We don't have a suit on, so we must be going for a short trip, I would assume. Oh, there we go. That is not about what's happening here. That's fine. And now we're in. Twisted and perverted HUD. Each Virtualium has its own HUD, a status bar on top of the screen. In TMP, the HUD shows the player's level in TMP, their experience points, slots for owned objects, and number of kills and deaths. Oh, so we do have a gun here. Interesting. So we get like a different UI entirely. Huh. I'm just checking professions here. So because we have no... yeah, we have none of this, we can't actually progress, I believe. Yes, and all of that requires us to have some of this, the techie side of things. This is techie, right? Yes. So because we haven't done anything techie, apparently, as in we haven't done rules, calm, loneliness, caution, logic, facts, discretion, or accuracy, we can't unlock any of that stuff. We also can't unlock any other paths. But if at some point we could unlock a path, we could maybe go scalpeling and start very quickly unlocking some of this. Interesting. Cool. Right. Well, what I'm going to do here is, because we just entered this Virtualium, and I need to end the episode a little bit early, I think this seems like a good point. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time to find out what exactly having a new HUD means. So, thank you for watching, see you next time, goodbye!